welcome to Science Class. Science Class is a YouTube channel. Science Class is a YouTube channel that is dedicated to tutorials in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And we also share useful tips on things that benefit young people, like job interviews, tutorials, and other opportunities that benefit young people. In today's lesson with algebra, in last lesson we discussed types of shapes in mathematics. That is the last class on mathematics. We discussed types of shapes in mathematics. Today we shall be going into introduction to algebra. Introduction to algebra. Yes, that's the first topic for today. So, and we shall be having a subtopic meaning integer operations. Integer operations. What are integers? In our lesson on type of numbers, we discuss what integers are. But today we shall be running through some example of integers. So example of integers are zeros. We have 0 as a type of integer number, 0. Another example of integer number is positive numbers. Positive numbers are integer. Example is 5 or minus 5. 5 or minus 5. When you see a number that is written without a plus in the front, it simply means it's a positive integer. When you have a number that is not having any sign in the front or is having a plus, it simply means it's a positive integer. Then we have another type of integer which is negative numbers. So example of that is minus 5, minus 3, minus 4, etc. So these are examples of integers. Yes. Now, what are operators? What are operations in mathematics? What are operations in mathematics? Operation in mathematics, the most basic elementary operations in mathematics are for a number. There are other complicated or complex operations in mathematics, but the most basic elementary operation in mathematics are 4, which are number 1, positive operations. Positive operation, that's a plus sign. This is also referred to as plus or addition. I have decided to write this one in green because whatever is positive is always green. Go ahead, green, move on. So plus is a positive integer. Another one is negative operation. Negative operation, this is also reversed to as minus. It's also reversed to as minus or subtraction sign. It's represented with a dash inside the brackets. Now, the third one is multiplication. We have another operation which is multiplication. An operation is a x sign. It's denoted by an x sign. And this is also referred to as times sign. Times sign or product. So if you are told to get the product of two numbers, it simply means multiply. Now, the last one of the simplest of the type of operation in mathematics are the division. Division is just a type of operation in which you use to cut. It's called a cutting sign, or you cut something to divide things into equal halves. You use division to divide things into equal halves. Yes. So let us go to multiplication of operation on addition and subtraction. Multiplication operation on addition and subtraction. Yes. Now, these operations can superimpose on each other. They can superimpose on each other. That means you can superimpose multiplication operation on addition and subtraction, as well as subtraction and addition on multiplication. But let us start with multiplication on addition and subtraction. If you have plus times plus, it will give you plus. plus times plus will give you plus. Plus times plus times plus will also give you plus. In this case, whenever you have a positive and times positive, or positive multiplying a positive sign, the answer will always be positive, regardless of the number of times that is being done. So if you have a negative times positive, it will also give you a negative answer. A negative answer. It will always give you a negative answer. If you have a minus times plus, it will always give you a minus. A minus times plus will also always give you a minus. I wrote this special operation on the top left side corner so that you can always remember that a negative times a negative is always a positive. It looks weird, but that is just the rule of mathematics. So it's in top. Minus times minus will always give you a plus. I said note, when you have two signs that are similar, two similar operations that are used together or that are multiplied together, the answer is always a positive sign. You always have a positive sign. In the example of the above, if you look at it, you see a plus times a plus will give you a plus. A minus times a minus will also give you a plus. It must be the operation, but the operation must occur in an even number of times. If it is negative operation, it must recur even number of times if it is negative operation. For example, I said 5 times 5, that is plus 5 times plus 5 will give you a plus 25. I say also minus 5 times minus 5 will give you a 25, a plus 25. Is all right. So we can see that this condition is true if the operation has an even number of repetitive time, or it is repeated in an even number of time. I've said this earlier. So for example, especially for the negative operation, in the condition if the operator is repeated odd number of times, in the condition in which if the operator is repeated odd number of times, the answer then will be a negative answer. The answer will then be a negative answer. I hope that is understood. Example, if you have minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2, that will give you a minus 8. Minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2 will give you a minus 8. If, for example, it was minus 2 times minus 2, it's going to give you a 4. But because it was recurring or repeated odd number of times, it became a negative answer. Alright? It became a negative answer. I said in my bracket, I said minus 2 goes 3 times. 3, which is odd, it's an odd number, that makes the answer to go 3 times, and this is a negative answer. This is a negative answer. I said this is because negative number is multiplied odd number of times. I'm going to give you another example now, another example above this statement. You say, let's see another one, another example. You see this example now, you have minus 2 times minus 3 times minus 4 times minus 1 times minus 2. Minus 2 times minus 3 times minus 4 times minus 1 times minus 2. This is 5 times. This operation is repeated 5 times. That is negative repeated 5 times. So the answer will be minus 48. Minus 48. I say this same rule applies to division as well. It applies to division as well. It's not limited to multiplication. It alone, it applies to division. It applies to division. Now let us look at an example. Let us go into a simple example or exercise for today. Right, let's go to this is the science class. Is that right? The first exercise for today is 4 times 5. This gives us the direct answer of 20, a positive answer. There is no negative operation involved, so the plus 4 times a plus minus. So another example, we have minus 4 times plus 5. This gives us a minus 20. The answer is negative because the negative operation goes odd number of time, which is 1. We have only one negative operator. Now, if you have minus 4 times 5 times minus 5 times 4, the answer is 400. This is a positive answer, and it is positive because we have 2 negative operations. 2 negative operations is an even number, and that makes it 400. But in the case when you have minus 4 times 5 times minus 4 times minus 4. I repeat, minus 4 times 5 times minus 5 times minus 4. This will give us a negative 400 because the negative operation has occurred odd number of times. A negative operation has occurred odd number of times. So that gives us a negative or number because the number of operation has occurred in the odd times. Yes, we have another example, which is 5 times minus 5 times 5 times minus 4 times 2. 5 times minus 5 times minus 5 times minus 4 times 2. Yes, can you get this answer? Can you get this answer? Can you guess this answer? Take a pause and see maybe you're going to get the answer correctly. First and foremost, look at the number of times the negative operation has gone in this expression. You can see it is 1, 2, 3. That should give you a clue on what the sign of the answer will be. So let us see the solution to the answer. The answer is minus 1000. Wow, this is minus 1000, and it's minus 1000 because the number of times the negative operation goes is an odd number of time. Okay, yes, this is the first exercise that we are going to be using the knowledge we've learned. This is exercise 1. We're using the knowledge we've learned. We have looked at the following example now. Using the knowledge that we have learned, we have looked at the following example. I run through the example again. I said 4 times 5 is 20. This is a positive answer because there was no negative at all in the expression. The other one, this one has a singular negative operation, which was made the answer to minus 20. The third has 2 negative operation, which is even made the answer to be 400 positive. The fourth one had 3 negative operation, which made the answer to be negative 400, and the last one had a 3 negative operation, which made the answer to be a negative answer. Now, yes, let us now look at the other side. Let's talk about the other side of the story. And what is the other side of the story? Addition and subtraction of multiplication operation. Addition and subtraction of multiplication equation of multiplication operation. That is, we are flipping it now. We are adding multiplication operation. We are superimposing addition and subtraction on multiplication operation. I said if you have an expression with a negative number bigger than the positive, if you have a negative number bigger than the positive, the answer will always be negative. The answer will always be negative, and vice versa. Example, you have minus 5 plus 3. This gives you minus 2. This is because the minus 5 was bigger than the positive plus 3. The negative integer was bigger than the positive integer. So that makes it a negative answer. Now let's look at this other example. Minus 5 plus 7. Minus 5 plus 7. This is 2, and is because 7, which is a positive integer, is actually bigger than 5, which is a negative integer. So that gives the answer to be a positive integer. The first example, as we can see, can be written as 3 minus 5. It can be written as 3 minus 5. While the last example here can actually be written as 7 minus 5. This will give us the same answer. That will give us the same answer. So, as seen in the two examples. Now, let's go to the exercise for this module, for this aspect of the addition and subtraction of operation over positive operation. This is if you have 3 minus 10, you have 3 minus 10, you have minus 5 minus 1, you have 4 minus 7 plus minus 9, you have 5 over 8 plus 6 over minus 12 minus 6 over 8, then you have 1 plus 7 over minus 8. Yes, the solution to this example. For example, if you have 3, if you have a minus 3 answer, that minus 3 answer simply means minus times 3. So it simply means minus times 3, or you can say minus 1 times 3. If you have a positive 5, it's the same thing as saying minus 1 times 5. So that is why I said the multiplication operation is superimposed over the addition and subtraction. So let's go to the solution. We have 3 minus 10. The answer is minus 7 because the negative number is bigger than the positive, and that negative number can be written as minus 1 times 10. Minus 1 times 10, which gives it a minus sign. So 10 is bigger than the positive, and the positive is lower. So the answer is minus 10. We have minus 5 minus 1 minus 5 minus 1. This simply means minus 1 times 5, then minus 1 times 1, So this will give us that minus times minus, or the negative times negative that we discussed the other time, will give us a plus, to give us a plus, and that will give us minus 5 plus 1. As we can see, this will now give us a minus 4. This is because the minus 5 was bigger than the minus 1, and that minus 1 was changed to a positive integer. I hope this does not confuse anyone, but if it confuses you, you can rewind this video and rewatch the operation. Minus times minus will give you a plus, minus times plus will give you a minus, and plus times minus will give you a. So the next example is 5 over 8 plus 6 over minus 12 minus 6 over 8. 5 over 8 plus 6 over minus 12 minus 6 over 8. First and foremost, what you're going to do is you get the LCM of 8, 12, and 8. The LCM of 8, 12, and 8 is 24. So, how many times can 8 go in 24? It's going to go 3 times. So, it will now give you that's 3 times that 8 goes in 24 times 5, which is going to give you 15. That's 5 times 3, that's 15. Then you're going to say, how many times will minus 12 go in 24? That one is going to go 2 times. Minus 12 in 24 is going to go 2 times. A negative 2 times, minus 2 times. So minus 2 times 6 is going to give you minus 12. Then how many times will 8 go in 24? It's going to go 3 times. It's going to go 3 times. So 15 minus 12 minus 18 all over 24. Minus 12 minus 18 is going to give you a minus 30. And remember from our first principle, minus 30 is greater than 15. So 15 minus is going to give us a minus 15 over 24. It is going to give us a minus 15 over 24. Minus 5 over 8. Thank you.